Hi, my name is Savannah James. I was recently involved in a very unpleasant story, and I even went to jail. The link to the video, what happened, look in the description below the video. In short, I crossed Ava's cheerleader at my new school because I am a better dancer than she is. Also, I met Patrick, and there was something going on between us. Ava was really jealous of me, and she decided to kick me out of school. They found my classmate's cell phone in my locker, and they took me to the police in front of the whole school. Ava came in and gave me an ultimatum. I should quit the cheerleading squad and leave Patrick alone. In return, she takes the complaint against me. I felt trapped, and I wanted to grab Ava and smash her against the wall. But there was my crying mother sitting in the hallway, disappointed in me again. And I didn't want to hurt her anymore. Take back the complaint! I looked contemptuously at Ava. Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Simmons, your lawyer. A man came into the office and smiling sweetly at me. He looked sternly at Ava. Hello, Mr. Simmons. Ava, I hope you had nothing to do with this. Please leave the room. I have to talk to Savannah. I watched him with my mouth open. Ava, shocked by the encounter, left. The man turned to me. Patrick asked me to help. I'm his father. He convinced me you were innocent of anything. You can go home now. I took care of it. You don't have to worry about anything. I thought about it in the cab. My mother didn't ask me questions. Mr. Simmons whispered something in her ear before he left, and she nodded back. We drove home in silence, and I fell asleep madly tired. I was suspended from school for a week. I was under house arrest. My mom was gone all day at work. I haven't had time to make my friends at my new school. So nobody writes to me and nobody visits me. It's worse than any prison. I was watching soap operas and flipping through social media, and I saw this picture of Patrick with Ava in his arms. Yeah, he wasted no time. I thought he liked me. That's why Patrick asked my dad to handle my case. And then, boom, he's with Ava. Something about that story doesn't add up. Patrick once told me that Ava had been chasing him for a long time, and they even tried dating, but something went wrong. All week long, Patrick and Ava's Instagram has been full of pictures of them together. Here they were at a cafe, here they were on a walk in the park, here she was hugging him outside school. I was sick of watching their endless Instagram stories, but I couldn't tear myself away from this love story either. At the end of the week, another blow was waiting for me. Waking up on Saturday, I saw in the hallway suitcases. Our suitcases. Mom, what is that? Get your stuff, Savannah. Mr. Simmons called. The case is closed. There's no evidence against you. But this situation, I've decided it's best for you to move to another city now and start a new life there. No, Mom, please! We did the same thing a year ago. I don't want to. I like it here. Savannah, it's out of the question. Pack your bags. We're leaving tomorrow. I staggered back to my room, barely able to hold back my tears. Yeah, I let my mom down. Again. But it wasn't my fault. I was just set up. Suddenly, there was a message on the phone. It was from Patrick. He asked me to meet him tonight at the school stadium. He said it was important. Well, at least I'd get to see him one last time before I left. At 7 p.m., as Patrick and I had agreed, I waited for him at the stadium. About 15 minutes later, nothing. I texted the guy. Nothing. What are you doing here? Ava came to meet me. None of your business. By the way, they dropped the charges against me. Your plan fell through. I decided to take one last shot at Ava. I don't care. Patrick and I are dating. You're nothing to him. She snapped back. That's a low blow to win a guy, Ava. The point is, I did it. Planting that cell phone in your locker, filing a complaint against you, and then watching the police escort you out of school during the game in front of everyone. I had it all figured out." And Ava laughed out loud. Thanks for the confession. Patrick appeared out of thin air. He was holding the phone, and it was pointed at a distraught Ava. "You're on a live stream. Your confession was heard by a lot of our classmates, and more importantly, by our school principal and Savannah's lawyer. Now you know everything, thanks to everyone who came to my stream." Patrick hid his phone and walked over to me and gave me a big hug. A minute later, a police car pulled up. And this time, Ava got in it silently. I went back to school. Patrick told me that the love story with Ava was a fake. He wanted to get a confession out of her. So he came up with a whole plan. He invited us both to the stadium and, hiding nearby, started a live stream, at the end of which everyone heard Ava's confession. Turns out this wasn't the first time she'd set up other girls she didn't like. But that was the last straw. She was expelled. I took her place on the cheerleading team. And the other day, Patrick and I had our first date. I'm so happy. All's fine now, and hopefully for a long while. Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay, and my parents and I recently moved to another town because of my dad's new job. It's more like a small town that doesn't have a lot of people, especially girls. Because of the bad climate and a lot of factories, people don't stay here very long. Everyone tries to go somewhere sunny and warm as soon as possible. Although I, on the contrary, like it here. High mountains, wide valleys, and very thick, dense forests. You can go hiking and snowboarding in the winter. It's so beautiful here. But the real surprise for me was that there were no girls in high school. It was all guys. When I first stepped on the threshold of the school, everyone in the hallway opened their mouths wide and goggled when they saw me. The students looked at each other and couldn't believe that a girl had finally come to study with them. I felt a little bit lost. On the one hand, there would be no girlfriends, which means that I cannot discuss our secrets and thoughts. But on the other hand, in the last school I had girls from school with whom I feuded openly. So I decided that if I was the only girl here, there was nothing wrong with that. And you can make friendships with the guys. But I was wrong. Over the past few years, the students got so used to studying in their male teams that when I came to class, I was not perceived at all. You'll get in our way. We have our own boys' company. Girls don't belong here. You'd better do homeschooling or get out of town. This harsh climate is not for gentle creatures like you. Ha ha ha. These words really made me angry. Yes, I love dresses and the color pink. But that doesn't mean I'm afraid of bad weather or some boys who think they can tell me what to do. This is my school too, and if you don't like me, get the hell out of here. They got terribly angry. It seemed like they were going to throw my bag out the window. But the teacher came into the classroom and started the lesson. For the next 2 weeks, no one spoke to me at all. The boys acted as if I didn't exist. Even if I wanted to ask something and I turned to one of them, they turned away and pretended like nothing was going on. That really pissed me off. And what was also annoying was the attitude of the teachers. They added even more fuel to the fire with their care and attention. Every time I was in class, the teachers would ask me if I was not cold. How did I get to school? Did I see a hole on the road? And they warned me that it was slippery outside. They said that I was a girl and I needed to be taken care of. But from such attention, my peers avoided me even more. After a month of this attitude, and I really thought that it would be a good idea to go back to the old school. There, I would even be happy to see my old bullies. One weekend, I went skiing with my father. On the mountain, I noticed a colored dot in the distance, as if someone had pitched a tent there. And in the evening in town, they started saying that 4 guys from our class had gone camping, but never came back. Everyone rushed to look for them, but it was already dark and no one knew where to go. I told them I had seen a tent in the distance and could give them the coordinates. But no one believed me. Everyone thought I was a silly girl with a wild imagination. Nothing more. So I decided to help the boys myself and went into the woods, taking everything I needed for first aid. And I was not mistaken. When I arrived at the place, I saw the tent of my classmates. As it turned out, they were wandering through the woods and had fallen into a snowdrift. Freezing solid, they barely made it out, losing everything they had: maps, compasses, gear, even their phones. Miraculously, they managed to pull out a backpack with a tent. Now they were sitting in it and drying their belongings. I sent our coordinates to the rescuers, who arrived 10 minutes later and took me and my peers home. The next day at school, my peers gave me a standing ovation. 2 of them immediately asked me out. Everything changed. I became a real hero, and everyone wants to be friends with me. But is this friendship sincere? Since I had to risk my life to prove that I am brave, just like the other boys, and that I deserve friendship. And in the evening, my dad said that my mother and I could go back to where we used to live, and I could go back to my old school. And now, I don't know what to do. There were girlfriends, pajama parties, shopping with the girls on weekends. And here, it's all fun for the boys. What should I do? What would you do?